am live this time. I hope I have sound. You never know. And it looks like I'm actually even live. Okay, we're just getting set up here, and we will be right with you. Looks all right. Just checking to make sure. Okay, I think I'm live in all the right places, and if you're coming on again, this is take two. Had a little bit of a technical issue with no sound. I'm not sure how that happened, so we're going to try this again. I think I'm actually live in my Facebook group page and also on YouTube. So if you're coming in, let me know that you can hear the sound. It does look like I've got sound this time round, and I'm just going to check. Still not seeing it exactly, but I hopefully have sound. Okay, we're just going to go until somebody, yes, oh, perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do a take two here. We're going to bring some things back in. And so let's just kind of get myself organized. So as I said, I'm going to do a bit of a twofer here, a 2-for-1. So it's normally my sketch challenge night. And tonight I'm going to combine my sketch challenge with the paper pumpkin kit, which I'm absolutely loving, the September paper pumpkin kit. So actually, let me start back a little bit. Sorry, I'm a little bit kerfuffled here with having to start over again. So I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. There. I have to get organized. Okay, so I'm going to show you the paper pumpkin kit. I'm going to make 3 of the cards, so you get 9 cards in this kit, 3 of 3 designs. And then I'm going to show you an alternative project that I've designed, because it's always fun. Sometimes it's just these cards are absolutely gorgeous, and you can make them in the kit just the way they have been designed, or you can use the parts of the kit, the card bases and the die cuts, and make your own card. And so I'm going to show you a card that I designed using what was in the kit. Okay, so this is the kit. Comes in one of the kind of Poppy Parade colored packages, and as I mentioned before, hey Lynn, thanks, they're labeled. So if you have yours kind of hanging around for a bit, like I sometimes do, they have the name and also the month of the paper pumpkin kit. Now I have opened mine, and I have pulled all of the pieces that I need for the 3 cards, just to kind of make it go a little smoother. But when you get them packaged, they're all packaged. All the pieces you need plus the instructions are all packaged. And then you have the stamp set and the ink pad are the Stampin' Spot separate. And then you've got this piece. So when you finish at the end, you will have your stamp spot, your ink spot, and your stamps, as well as maybe some of the glue dots and mini dimensionals. So there's mini glue dots in this one, and then some of they're actually bigger glue dots. And so you might have some of those left over. There are no embellishments in this kit because actually the pieces have copper foil on them. But you can use this piece with the images to store your paper pumpkin stamps on. And then of course, you have the instructions. We'll go through those, and that's all the extra pieces. So I'm just going to leave those all in the bottom of the box for the moment. I'm going to just put these off to the side. I'll show you the sketch in a bit. Okay, so this is the instructions, and they always come the same. They're the same as if you've bought kits. The instructions are laid out the same. So you have 3 of each of the designs of the card, and aren't they pretty colors? Let's see what the colors, do they tell me? Yeah, Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Night of Navy, Pecan Pie, Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Very Vanilla, and Wild Wheat. Love these color combinations, and definitely great for fall. So we're going to start with the first card. Now, the first card in this kit is a smaller card, I think. Just going to bring it in, show you how beautiful it is with my pieces for that. So this is done. Let me see how big this is. So this is 4x4. So I don't know that you can mail these, but these are great cards to give to somebody or add to tags. Or I'll show you this. This might work, although it's a little bit big, but just this by itself over a wine bottle, for example, would be a great gift, and then you could decorate that as just as a tag kind of without even having to do anything to that if you wanted something different. So let me show you the instructions and how they're laid out. So it will tell you stamping. On this one is first, and so it tells you what stamp to use, what label to use, and then you're going to do some more stamping and where to stamp, and then it tells you the pieces, and if it's a little tiny dot, it's a glue dot, and if it's one of the hexagonal little dots, it's dimensional, and then it tells you how to put it together, and that's their convention for all of the cards. So look at these envelopes that coordinate wild wheat inside. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to use a bone folder, and I'm just going to fold my card base and burnish it. Okay, so I'm going to use, just because it's a little easier for me to stamp with the big stamp set, or the big stamp pad, as opposed to the ink spot. So I'm going to use my Cajun Craze. And so for this card, we need the, what I call sprigs or stems, and we're going to use the sentiment that says, what does it say? Sending autumn wishes your way. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to stamp the sentiment on one of these kind of rounded end labels in Cajun Craze, like that. And then we're going to take this Cajun Craze square, and I'm just following the instructions, and so I'm just going to take and stamp that in the corner. That's okay, let's take that and that. Okay, and then it wants us to, the instructions tell us to take our pieces, and I think I've got everything. 1, 2, yeah, I do. Okay, so it's telling us to use mini dimensionals on the snail. I always have a hard time with the mini dimensionals. My fingers don't seem to. Hey Marilyn, thank you so much for sharing and liking. Appreciate that. If anybody else wants to share my video, to, you know, if you have places you share things to, that would be definitely much appreciated. Now that was actually supposed to go on with glue dots, so we'll take these off and put them, got distracted there for a minute. Take my dimensionals off of my label and put them on the tree, and then I also need dimensionals. So if you've noticed that the dimensionals in the paper pumpkin kits and the other kits, this kit collection that Stampin' Up! Has, they are slightly thicker than the dimensionals, the regular dimensionals. So if you have some left over, you probably don't want to combine them with our regular dimensionals, because they are thicker, and you may notice that as you go to put them and use them. Okay, let me see. There. Okay, and then just following where they've got, roughly where Stampin' Up! Has put the dots. Okay, I think I've got everything done. So now we can take, so this piece is going to go in. Oh, and I forgot to put glue dots on each of the corners, of this Cajun Craze piece. So I feel like I'm rushing this, and I apologize for that. It's just this making 4 cards. I don't want to keep you guys around all night. But you can take your time with these. So make one and then come back to it another day and make another one. It's a great way to kind of just spend some time. So I'm just going to take, that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to line this up evenly on this side, and then I'm just going to press down there. So now we've got the Cajun Craze piece on that side. Okay, so now the next step is to take and put our kind of garland across the top. it's going to go kind of like a wreath, just around like that. And our sentiment is going to go on. These glue dots, I actually have never particularly liked them. I prefer the glue dots that come on the roll, but I am finding they are easier. I think what I didn't like about them is that I had a hard time getting the top off. And so I'm just going to take another one and put on there. Oopsie. To get the backing off. It doesn't want to come off my finger. Okay. Be that way. We'll try another one. Okay, we'll try another one right there. My end of my label just didn't seem to be sticking very well, so there we go. But I'm finding, especially with the Take Your Pick tool, these come apart really nicely. Okay, so now we can take I got backing all over the place. So usually with just dimensional backings, oops, I forgot the little tree trunk is gonna go there. And this is gonna go on like that. Oopsie, sticking out a little bit. Like that. And then we have our snail. Cute, these, gosh, these little, they're kind of whimsical. They have a very whimsical feel to them, at least to me. So the snails, Mr. Snail's gonna go there. And then this is probably a toadstool. Don't know that for sure, but it's just gonna go on like that. And that's the first card. Isn't that that's so cute? And then you lots of room for writing. You could do some stamping on the inside of that, and then of course this gorgeous envelope that it comes with. Okay, on to card number 2. Flip over. This is pretty straightforward, this card, but I think this is my favorite. And I think it's because of the combination of the colors in this. Look at how gorgeous this is. If you're into scrapbooking, memory keeping, these you can use and make some great layouts. So again, a card that coordinates. This time it's got Knight of Navy on the inside. So again, we will fold and burnish. So this is pretty straightforward, this one. It's got the circle, and you probably can't see this. Hey, Louise. The accent on this is Copper Cajun Craze. Just gonna stamp that. So if you wanted to, as you're stamping and making these, you could actually go through and do all of your stamping at once. Okay, and then the other thing that I need to do is do some stamping with my sprig or my stems. And where are they? Let's see. So it's just, we're just going to do some stamping here on the kind of in there. So a couple of them just to give a little bit of extra like that. I think there's just the two, twice they've stamped. Okay, so then we're going to use dimensionals for our leaves. So you need one of this beautiful Knight of Navy leaf and one of the wild wheat leaf. And again, using dimensionals on those. They are pretty. Almost are too big, and in fact I think that they're showing to, yes, they are showing you to take got a sticky piece of designer series paper, to take one of them and actually cut in half, because they're almost too big for these leaves. I said I have a hard time with the mini dimensionals. They just feel just too small for my fingers. So if you're like me and you struggle with them, use your Take Your Pick tool, because it comes in very handy. And just kind of wiggle it into place. Okay, so I've got that on there, and then it's glue dots on the label. Okay, so the first thing we're going to put on is our sentiment. Come on, there we go. And it's going to go kind of down here like that. And then you're going to take these two, and then I like to use my take your pick tool with the piercing end just to grab the backings off my dimensionals. Just makes it easier. So this is going to go down kind of like that. Oh, that's a very delicate set of leaves. And then this one will go on like that. I'm just going to take, there we go. Really pretty, just the popped up leaves. Very simple card, but gosh, you don't need much with this, with that card front. And then of course you have this gorgeous coordinating envelope to go with it. Okay, now the last card is the one, so again, a coordinating envelope with these beautiful leaves, and then this base, card base that's got the big tree trunk and the two little or part tree trunks. And we will turn ours over. Pull these pieces out. Okay, so we're gonna, this is the front of the card with the largest tree trunk. And so again, we are doing some stamping. So kind of just across the middle like this, and then again diagonally. So just a bit of kind of background to your card base. And then the sentiment is the one that says "with thanks." So with these photopolymer ones, just kind of flop it down on your grid paper or on your glass mat or your table, and then it will take kind of the shape that it is supposed to be. Sometimes if we try to force it, we get it twisted or not twisted, that's the wrong word, bent, curved. Okay, so we need that piece like that. And then this is one, look at this leaf that I'm going to show you. So it's got these two leaves. One is in crushed curry, absolutely stunning. And then look at this copper, so beautiful. Okay, so we're going to take and just arrange these, and I think we're using glue dots on all of our leaves. So you don't need many glue dots. The sentiment's going to go over top of this, so just two of these glue dots is fine. And then, yeah, glue dots on these as well. Now, I am going to just put the glue dots down here at the bottom. It does show to put two on. I'm just going to put one on the bottom because these are going to be held in place with the sentiment. And for the sentiment, they're using the dimensionals. All over. There. Oh, actually, this one's telling me that it's, let's see, probably up higher. Okay. It actually is using both glue dots and dimensionals, but I'm just going to use dimensionals. There's no right or wrong way to make these. So like I said, I'm going to show you an alternative in just a minute. So you can arrange these kind of however you want. So that one's going to go kind of like that. So you definitely want to take your pick tool to get the backing off of these glue dots. And then this one will go like that. this one like that. Copper one. Like I said, these leaves will be held on with the sentiment, so I'm not too worried about just having one glue dot on them. Okay, so now I'm going to take and put all my little backings. They're going to be all over the house, no doubt. Okay. So that one's going to go down just on there. And then this is the sentiment. So no embellishments, no ribbon with these, but you don't need it. They're so gorgeous with these copper one. Oh, Dancing with the Stars. Sorry, I'm taking too long tonight, but have fun. There we go. So that's the third card. I'll just bring these back in quickly, and then we'll get started on my alternative project. So those are the cards that come with the kit. Okay, so let me bring you in the sketch. So this is the sketch that I created. It looks a bit odd, but so card base 5.5 by 8.5, and then this centerpiece is 3 3/4 by 5, and then about a 2-inch circle, 2 by 2, and then I've said for these other shapes, any shape, and that's because I'm using the dies that come with the kit. So this is going to go live. Probably may just gone live. It may be at 7 o'clock. So let me show you the alternative card that I designed and show you how easy it is to make an alternative. So what I did with this one is I used I used one of these card bases that has the tree trunks on it. And I cut the card base to 3 3/4 by 5. And then I grabbed some of the die cuts and the sentiment label, and I cut a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11. So we're going to score this at 5.5. Like that. So you can create alternatives. You could, if you didn't want to, you don't have to make any of the cards up the way they've designed. You could just use them as alternatives. And like I said, I'm seeing lots of people using them as scrapbook kits, or scrapbook to help with scrapbook layouts. So this is the piece. So on my card that I created, I used the one that had the smaller trunks, but I'm going to trim this to be 3 3/4 by 5. That's what I have at 3 3/4 by 5. Yep. Okay. And I'm just going to take and adhere that on to my card base using glue. I could use the glue dots that come in the kit, but I like to use liquid glue. It's so easy to create alternatives from the pieces. Okay, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp the Thinking of You, if I can find it. There we go. So that's going to go on. Now I'm going to just grab my full-size dimensionals, because I'm struggling with those little tiny dimensionals. So those will go on with dimensionals. I've got a couple of other pieces here. I've got a snail, and I'm going to put just a dimensional on one side of the snail because he's going to lean up against this. Okay, so the other thing, when you make some alternatives, I brought in linen thread, and I brought in some of the adhesive backed metallic gems. So I'm just going to take and wrap my linen thread around my hand 2 or 3 times, like that. Pinch it together, and I'm going to just take and put a little bit of Stampin' Seal and hold it in place. And then we'll take and put, I'm going to use a little bit of glue, just to kind of put that, lift that up a little bit and put that there. And again, just a little bit of glue on that to put it down, just to hold it in place. And then your sentiment label kind of over top. And then for the snail, I've got one side of it is going to have a dimensional on it, and the other side, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue because he's kind of up and over and onto the sentiment. And then the last thing for the front of the card are these copper. So these adhesive back metallic gems come in gold, silver, and copper. And so let's use some of these copper ones, and they come in, no, just 2 sizes. I thought there was 3 sizes, but we're going to use the copper ones because the copper ones go so nicely with those copper foil accents on the card. And then I grabbed a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and I'm just going to take, since I have this stem out, I'm just going to take and stamp that stem down in the corner. You could do that on the cards that you're creating with your paper pumpkin as well, but I didn't do that tonight. And then this is going to go on the inside of the card. Ink on my fingers. So there we go. So those are the 2 cards, just slightly different because of the 2 card bases, or the 2 parts of the card bases that I used. But a really quick and easy alternative for your paper pumpkin kits. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Apologies for the take 2 and that I had to come on again, but I hopefully have got this figured out with my new technology. Thank you so much for watching and sharing. And I will be back again tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. So back at my regular time, 6:30 Pacific, with a technique for you. Come join me then. Happy stamping.